Good day, students. You are welcome to today's class. Today we are going to study algebraic processing and we are going to consider variation. Now, at the end of today's lesson, you should be able to solve problems involving types of variation, that is, direct, indirect, joint, and partial variation. Now, firstly, what do we mean by variation? Variation is a change in the value of a function due to small changes in values of its arguments. Or in the very simple word, variation means slight change. Now, types of variation. We have direct variation, indirect, also known as inverse variation, joint, and partial variation. Now, direct variation. This is a situation whereby if increase in variable A leads to increase in variable B, or decrease in variable A leads to decrease in variable B, or vice versa, at the same rate. Take note of this. At the same rate, this is direct variation. For instance, y varies directly as x. Note, in some situations, you may have it as y varies as x. And in another situation, you may have it as y varies directly as x. It's written as y varies as x. This sign, that is what we have here, it implies varies as or is proportional to. That is, this sign, we refer to it as varies as. And we have, from here, we have y is equal to kx. That is what we have here. And our k implies proportionality constant. So take note of that. And we can relate direct variation to Charles' law in other subjects like physics and chemistry. So now, when we get to Google Classroom, we will solve questions involving direct variation. Also, we have inverse variation. When increase in variable A leads to decrease in variable B, or vice versa, that is, when increase in variable B leads to decrease in variable A. At the same rate, this is inverse or indirect variation. In this case, we have this. Y is proportional to as x inverse. Now, when you have this, that is inverse of x, that is y proportional to 1 over x. And don't forget, for us to have equal to sign, we have this is y is equal to k times 1 over x. And this will give us y is equal to k over x, where our k is our constant. K is constant. So, we will solve questions related to inverse variation in Google Classroom. Now, we have joint variation. Joint variation involves 3 or more variables. So, that is why we have different conditions under joint variation. Now, we talk about phase 1. Phase 1, if x varies jointly as y and z. At this point, jointly, that is why we have it in this form. X directly proportional or varies as y, z. Now, then this implies x is equal to k, don't forget, constant, y, z. Now, that is, we have it there where our k is constant. Phase 2, if x varies inversely as y and z. At this point, we write this one in this form. X proportional to y, z inverse. So we can now rewrite this as x is equal to k over y, z at this point. Now take note of that. The word x varies inversely as y and the word and. That is why we have this one in this form. So And the final phase we have here is if x varies directly as y and varies inversely as z. We can write this one as x varies as y, then inversely as z. Now this will give us x is equal to ky over z. And like I said earlier, we'll solve more questions on this when we get to Google Classroom. Finally, we have partial variation. When the variation is expressed as a sum of two or more parts, it is called partial variation. For this example now, A varies directly as a constant and partly varies as B. We write it as A directly proportional or varies as constant, which is constant k. The word and the same A partly varies as B. Partly varies again is coming with its own constant. Let us call that constant y, B. So in this case, this is A is equal to k plus y, B. Where our k and y, they are constant. K and y are constants. Then A and B are variable. So don't forget, at this point, we may not have this one here. Sorry for that. We may have it as so don't just take note of this. We may not have this one here when we have this proportionality constant, but coming to here, we have it as k. So take note of that. So also A varies directly as x and partly varies as square of b. Take note of this one. At this point, it's not varies directly as constant, but as a variable. So at this point, we have A is equal to constant x because it's varies directly. Then and partly varies as square of b. So another constant y, b squared. So please, anytime you are solving questions involving partial variation, take note of all these squares, square roots, cube roots, and others. So finally, we have it as what? A partly constant and partly inverse as squared. So since this one is just constant, not variable like this one, we have it as k plus y over b, because the condition we have here is inversely as square roots, cube roots of b. So we will solve examples related to each of these conditions in Google Classroom. So thank you very much for today's lesson.